I'm in West Palm Beach to cover the NFL annual meeting, a.k.a. the owners' meeting, where DeMeco Ryans spoke for the first time about Laremy Tunsil, the accusations of a toxic offensive line room, and the new direction the Texans are taking with their offensive line. And I'm staying at the wonderful Casa Grandview here in West Palm Beach, your spot when you're coming out here to West Palm Beach, either for a vacation this summer or Astros Spring Training next year. Don't miss out on it. We'll show you some of the beautiful amenities as we go throughout the video, but here to break down what the head coach had to say about the offensive line. One of the most disappointing parts of the 2024 season was how bad the offensive line was. It torpedoed, it tanked, however you want to phrase it, the offense for the Texans last year. It made CJ Stroud's job so much harder than it needed to be, and the Texans had to go about fixing it this offseason. I know a lot of people thought it was a curious move to trade Laremy Tunsil. The head coach explains it wasn't easy to move on from LT the LT.
Trading Laremy is really tough. There's nothing easy about that because Laremy is such a great player. You put the tape on Sunday, he's arguably one of the best one-on-one pass protectors in the NFL. So it's hard to lose a player of his caliber. But also at the same time, it was a trade we felt was beneficial to both parties. We were able to get quality draft picks out of the trade, send Laremy to a really good team as well. So I think we both benefited from the trade, but it's going to be hard to replace him as well.
Now, Laremy Tunsil, when he met with Washington media, he explained that the Texans sat him down and told him, hey, we got to pay all these other guys. We've got to go out there and take care of our young players, and that's going to be too much of a financial commitment. We're not going to be able to take care of you on the next round of your contract when you want a brand new contract. And I'm sure Tunsil will try to become the highest paid offensive lineman in football for the third time. He's quite proud of the first two times. But I asked DeMeco Ryans, was that the main driving force behind getting rid of Laremy Tunsil? And I think there's some reading between the lines there.
It is difficult. We also, through Stingley's extension, I think everyone can see the message there. We want to send a message to all of our young guys. And when you do it the right way, guys like Stingley, DeMeco, young guys who came in and they played really well for us and became top players in the league at their positions. You want to reward those guys. I don't want everyone to see that, man, we're going to reward guys for doing it the right way.
Well, the views in the setup here at Casa Grandview, just incredible, on the great deck outside where you can hang out, enjoy the fantastic Florida weather. Laremy Tunsil, did he do things the right way? You know, I think it's debatable. He felt very much like a one-man army over there at left tackle that didn't take care of everything. And I do feel like the Texans with Tunsil, it kind of falls into the, if they wanted to, they'd have made it work. But the opportunity here, you get 4 draft picks for Laremy Tunsil. You send out a 4th this year. You get a 3rd and a 2nd next year as the highlight of the package from the Commanders. And now the Texans are moving on. They've got to figure something out with that offensive line room. But it wasn't just Tunsil. It was Shaq Mason, Kenyon Green as well. The culture change that we've heard about, to change things up, adjust things in that offensive line room for the Texans. DeMeco Ryans has talked about that one voice that he wants the offensive line room to follow. Was Laremy Tunsil the dissenting voice? I mean, you could put some context clues together and make an educated guess if you wanted to, but ultimately the conversation about the culture change also turned into the fact that maybe the offensive line room was a toxic situation. DeMeco Ryans says, not so fast, my friends.
I think our guys in that room, they competed, they battled. It didn't always go how we wanted it to go, but there was nothing toxic in the room. Those guys showed up to work every day. Those guys were a tight group. They went out to dinners throughout the week, so those, I don't know where their report came from, but it's very incorrect. That's nothing in our building. That's nothing I stand for. You know, as the head coach of the team, like we bring in the right people. We bring in good guys, and all those guys are great guys.
Toxic or not, the Texans have to figure out this offensive line situation. And it feels like right now, before they go to the NFL draft, the group that they brought in is all about that C word, competition. There was no competition in training camp last year. The Texans handed the left guard spot to Kenyon Green. They handed the center spot to Juice Scruggs. And then Titus Howard, Shaq Mason, and Laremy Tunsil were right tackle, right guard, and left tackle. Nobody was fighting for those spots. Now, obviously, Jared Patterson eventually took over at center, but there wasn't a lot of competition. There wasn't any competition in training camp, and then there wasn't any real competition in the season. Competition is the buzzword for the offseason when it comes to the offensive line moving forward for DeMeco Ryans and company.
So in free agency, you see we've added a few offensive linemen, Cam Robinson, Trent Brown, Ed Ingram, Lakin Tomlinson. The idea behind adding those guys is just going to add some veteran guys who played for a while. They've done it the right way. Guys play hard and really wanted to enhance just competition in the room. We have a good core of young guys, added some veteran guys, and with the mix of guys, the messaging to everyone is, let's see who our best 5 guys will be, and let's see what that competition will make of us. Competition always, to me, it makes everyone around you better.
Hey, look at this office for this video, huh? Casa Grandview, they're taking care of you all the way out here at the pool. The Wi-Fi reaches. Isn't that great? So competition, the big word from DeMeco Ryans. Who are these guys that they brought in for competition? Well, Trent Brown coming off the patellar tendon injury. I don't know that he's true competition exactly for the way that the Houston Texans are operating things, but he's a nice backup, and really he's competition for that backup tackle spot, that swing tackle spot. Ed Ingram, DeMeco Ryans didn't have much to say about Ed Ingram. That's probably a guy that is going to have to hang on to a roster spot, especially if the Texans draft somebody at guard. But he had a lot to say about Lakin Tomlinson, a guy that was on the 49ers when DeMeco Ryans was in San Francisco. Well, DeMeco Ryans, despite the middling results from Tomlinson over the past couple of seasons with the Jets and the Seahawks, it kind of got me excited about what Tomlinson's bringing to the table.
Lakin brings a unique mindset, an old school mindset, type of throwback mindset. He's going to be out there. He's working. I've had the luxury of working with Lakin before, just seeing him work up close and personal. Really great teammate, phenomenal teammate, going to bring great energy to the group. And as you mentioned, he is that Iron Man. He doesn't miss a lot of snaps. He's reliable, a reliable guy who's been out there, and it means something to him to be out there. He's a really good leader. I'm excited for our guys to just see how Lakin works, and I think he can help our young guys, JP, Juice, Titus. He can help those guys out as well.
Tomlinson, you in on this? You know, Lakin Tomlinson being maybe a solution for one of these spots? Look, again, he's just competition. I hope a guard comes in and beats him out as a draft pick, or I hope somebody else is better than him at left guard. That'd be a really solid backup for you, what DeMeco Ryans just described, and maybe in this system, he'll be a solid starter if he earns that spot. DeMeco Ryans made it very clear that nobody's guaranteed a spot, though I think Cam Robinson's contract probably sets him up pretty darn well for a spot. But nobody's guaranteed a spot along this offensive line. It was worth noting that DeMeco Ryans talked about Tomlinson, an interior offensive lineman, being good for interior offensive lineman Jared Patterson, interior offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, and Titus Howard. Titus Howard, not guaranteed to play tackle. In fact, DeMeco Ryans addressed where Titus Howard could be playing next year for the Texans.
Yeah, it's all open to everyone. Titus has done a great job of being able to have that flexibility to play outside and to play inside, and he's shown that he can do both. So I think Titus, and he's willing to play wherever, and he's done a really good job when asked to go inside. He did a really good job for us and played really good for us down the stretch when he played guard.
The competition's nice and all, and we could talk about Lakin Tomlinson and Ed Ingram and Cam Robinson and Trent Brown and all this stuff, but they got to draft somebody. They've got to draft probably 2 offensive linemen. Hopefully it's a player that can help right away at either tackle or guard. I'm fine with an offensive lineman who they draft beating out any of these guys. I'm not married to any of these players having to play in a certain spot. And if the Texans draft an offensive lineman to ultimately compete and win that job in training camp, so be it. It'd be great. Now, look, we're going to be skeptical whoever they draft along the offensive line. It's going to be skepticism until it's proven that that player is a good player with the track record that the Texans have. But I'd be happy to have a rookie go out there and start for this Texans team. Hey, DeMeco Ryans, you looking at a rookie offensive lineman in the draft?
We'll see you never know. That's the fun part about the draft. You can go through it all. Everybody has their mock and opinion, but no one really knows how the draft is going to fall. So it's up to us, and Nick has done an outstanding job of just putting the work in. Right, we've done a lot of extensive work on a lot of guys in the draft. Our scouts have done a great job. So yeah, we'll just continue with our same philosophy we had as we've been here, is draft good people, good players.
Now, you knew DeMeco wasn't going to give you much on that. He's playing it close to the vest, but he did give a little bit on what it takes and what is the toughest part about making that jump from college to the NFL. And I did feel like he kind of hinted at the type of guy that they're trying to go out there and get.
The D lineman you're going against is just it's a ridiculous amount of talent, and the speed, the physicality of the defensive line has changed. You're going against, especially the interior rushers. There is some, and it's every down. And most D lines now, you're trying to rotate 8 guys, and O-lineman, you don't get a break. So it's tough for guys. Guys have to be mentally definitely strong to, if you get beat, like how do you come back? O-line is the one position that doesn't rotate. They're not leaving the field, so to have that competitive fortitude to just stick with it down after down, it takes a lot for a young O-lineman, and it's going in training camp. Right? You have to prepare. You got to put the pads on. You got to work against quality D linemen in training camp. You got to go through those one-on-one periods to improve your game. Right? That's the thing I always speak on, is iron sharpening iron. So if you get a young offensive lineman, whatever position, tackle, guard, like, you're going to go against some top talented guys, and hopefully it should make you better and more prepared for when you start the season.
So with that comment from DeMeco Ryans, hold on, let me get my chair back here a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. So with that comment from DeMeco Ryans, it kind of feels to me like they're definitely looking at one of these guys who started a lot at college, guys who've played a whole lot of football and played a lot of football at a high level. So again, those big program guys like Georgia, like Ohio State, like, Texas. So Kelvin Banks Jr., Tate Ratledge from Georgia, Jared Wilson, the center from Georgia, Donovan Jackson from the Ohio State University. Kind of feels like those are the type of players they're looking for. And when you talk about not having a huge culture shock for an offensive lineman making that jump, it does feel like it kind of would eliminate North Dakota State offensive lineman Gray Zabel. Wouldn't it? Like, trying to make that big jump from the competition that he faced to the NFL kind of feels like it might eliminate, or at least keep Gray Zabel down on the Texans board. We know Nick Caserio doesn't draft a lot of non-Power 5, Power 4 guys. He's really only dipped in there a handful of times. And Tank Dell, when he was drafted, UH wasn't in the Power 5. Now they're obviously in a Power 4 conference. Nick Caserio doesn't draft a lot of smaller school guys or, group of 5 guys like that. So maybe DeMeco Ryans hinted that Gray Zabel wouldn't quite be what they're looking for. Man, I could relax here at the Casa Grandview all day, outside, just hanging out, looking at the beautiful palm trees. I think I understand why they call it Palm Beach, with all these palm trees around. I'd get in the hammock behind me, but I'd be afraid I'd break it. Hammock's not fat guy friendly. You know what is vacation friendly, though? Casa Grandview. What a beautiful place. I mean, look at this pool. Look at this pool that you have here at the vacation rental. It's only the people that rent the vacation rentals that get to come in here and hang out at this wonderful, beautiful establishment. Man, they are first class here. And Miss Cheryl and her husband that own it and run it, they do a great job. They've got 1 to 3 bedroom rentals. You're not renting a hotel where you don't know when was the last time the cleaning staff was in there. It feels very sterile. I walked in It felt like I had a vacation home in West Palm Beach when I walked in here at Casa Grandview. You're going to feel the exact same way. You're going to get casual luxury from Casa Grandview. You're going to get that fantastic pool. They've got a great grill out here. If you want to grill out your own food, they got that incredible deck that we were on earlier that you can go out there, sit out, enjoy the fantastic weather that West Palm Beach offers for you. Man, you're coming here for a summer vacation. This is the place to stay. You're coming here next year to watch the Astros at spring training, and you could spend a week just hanging out here, much less going out there and seeing the Stros in spring training next year. Casa Grandview, all the information's in the description down below. You've seen the little pop-ups. You've seen all the glorious stuff that it has to offer as well. And you cannot miss out on my friends here at Casa Grandview. Check them out. CasaGrandview.com is the website. Miss Cheryl's phone number is right there on the website. You can call her, set this whole thing up. She's a fantastic lady. Really appreciate them working with me here while I'm in West Palm Beach. So DeMeco Ryans, he didn't give you all the clarity on the offensive line. He gave you the direction, which is competition. They've got to draft some more players, but they are certainly trying to improve this offensive line by throwing as many bodies at it as they can. Well, maybe it works, and if it doesn't, then there's a lot more questions about exactly how they're operating things, and hopefully I don't get stuck on the gate yet again. Got a blooper reel for you here at the end. So appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out Casa Grandview. I can't wait till we talk Texans again soon. This will be great behind the scenes for you as I try to relocate, move some stuff around here. Experience the wonderful West Palm Beachness of West Palm Beach. Ooh. Gotta watch the wires.